In 1890s London, upcoming magicians Angier and Borden become bitter rivals after Angier's wife dies during an onstage incident. Borden, who was responsible for tying the knots in the water tank trick, claims to not know which knot he tied, infuriating Angier. They go solo and Angier rehires the engineer, Cutter, to help with his act. Meanwhile, Borden hires a previously unknown engineer called Fallon. While developing their own shows, Angier and Borden also take turns sabotaging the other. Angier loses his stage contract after Borden's distraction, while Borden loses 2 fingers when Angier becomes a volunteer for his bullet catch trick. Angier visits Borden's show again, but comes away surprised by Borden's debut of a new trick called the Transported Man, in which he appears to teleport. Angier is convinced the trick involves only one person, but recreates it for his act using a lookalike double, as suggested by Cutter. Despite his version being better received, Angier obsesses with Borden's secret. Borden exposes Angier's lookalike to the audience, further infuriating him. Following supposed clues from Borden's stolen diary, Angier arrives at Colorado Springs to meet the scientist Nikola Tesla, himself engaged in a bitter rivalry with scientist Thomas Edison. Tesla builds Angier a machine that creates a clone of its subject, but warns against its use. Nevertheless, Angier uses it for the real Transported Man, a refined trick that brings him unprecedented recognition. Since Tesla's machine only clones, and does not transport, Angier must dispose of 1 clone each night to prevent replication. Borden's wife, Sarah, commits suicide, while his mistress, Olivia, leaves him. Borden is left with a daughter, Jess. He sneaks under the stage at Angier's next show to learn his new secret, but is shocked to see Angier drown inside a water tank. Since Angier does not reappear, Borden is arrested for his murder. He is found guilty and sentenced to death, meeting Fallon for the last time in prison. Angier, who did not reappear that night to frame Borden, poses as an aristocrat, Lord Caldlow, to adopt Jess. Borden realizes this, but is hanged nevertheless for Angier's death. Angier reveals himself to Cutter, and asks his help to destroy Tesla's machine. After the meeting, Angier is shot by a mysterious figure in the dark and is fatally wounded. The figure is Borden, who finally explains his trick to Angier. Fallon, his engineer, was actually his twin brother. They both lived 1/2 of Borden's life, never appearing in public as twins, except during the Transported Man. One brother married Sarah, while the other loved Olivia. Though one Borden died, the other permanently took his place. At Angier's house, Cutter explains that the hardest and final part of any magic trick is the reappearance, also called the prestige, where the magician brings back the object he made to vanish. As he demonstrates this, Borden reappears at Angier's house to take back Jess, finally proving himself to have been the superior magician all along.